Hello and welcome to MELHummel.org. I'll be using the MELHummel.org website to help illustrate information on one of these figurines. Figurines we're going to be looking at, one of them representing is under rare Hummels, and then go down to the MELs. I'll explain that in a minute. This is the page for the MELs, MELs, as you can see. And there's a bit of information here. There are 29 known MELs. These are Hummels, early Hummels, but they're known as MELs, the last three letters of Hummel. And there are links to the ones that we know about. And you can see there are 2, 3, 4, 5, several that we have not seen lately. There are examples that are the Hummel Internationals as well. The one that we're going to look at is the Boy with Horse, MEL number 3. And according to Robert Miller, it lists value as between $300 and $500 in his latest version of his price guide, edition number 10. Here's the Boy with a Horse. And here's an example of one. One of the things that you can see are, if you scroll up as an example to some of these, you can see on the back of these, it has the word MEL on the back. I'll show you that with this one. You can see the word MEL, M-E-L. It's a little bit fuzzy. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer. That's one of the ways that you can tell one of the earlier ones. These were sculpted by Reinhold Unger in 1939. That was the year that the war started in Europe, in Germany. MEL is actually the last three letters of the word Hummel, and these were, as far as we know, classified as samples. Typically show on the back side of the Hummel, and sometimes you might see, in this case, this is what they call a cookie. It looks like a cookie dough. This one has the crown mark as well as the full B trademark. This is known as the transitional. You can see the MEL 2 in this case, and then the full B, and then the crown incised. In collecting the MELs, I've noticed one thing. The size of the candle holder might be one size, because they had two different candle sizes that they worked with. And here are the differences between the two. You can see they're both the same pretty much, except that in this case, the candle holder is different size. A larger candle holder and a smaller candle holder. Another difference, the more common of the Boy with a Horse is the more recent version. And the way you can tell this, if you look, you can see where the pants come up. On the one on the left, the MEL, the pants come up to his chest. Whereas on the more recent one, from trademark 4 on, the pants come up to his waist. And that's one way you can tell right off. Another way is if you look at the hairstyle, This one has a little bit of a tip on it, whereas this one does not have as much of a cowlick or a difference in there. But you can see they're pretty much the same. Also notice that on the left-hand side in the MEL, that the necktie has a knot in it. It shows very clearly. The little boy on the right does not. The difference is Gerhard Skrobeck restyled this to some extent and made some differences between some of these. This one is known as Hummel 117, and you can see on the bottom it has 117 and it has the trademark 6 trademark, whereas on the MEL you don't have anything marked except for the painter's signature on the bottom, his little designating as to who he was. That's one way you can tell. Also, on the 117, you have the word MEL Hummel. Some people confuse that with a J, but in German, that's the letter I. MEL Hummel. All Hummels where possible have that signature. The MELs do not. On the website, we also have quite a bit of information as to these are examples of the MEL 1, 2, and 3. In this case, it's 1, 3, and 2. You can see that you have the trademark, the crowns on the first two, incised crown. On the third one, you have a stamped full B, and that's the earlier full B. It also says Germany and not West Germany. If you do a search on the Hummel figurines, if you do a search on eBay, Hummel 117, you can see that there are differences. Notice that this one has the pants up high, yet it's a trademark 3. This one has the pants up high as well, and if we take a look at it, you'll see that if you take a look at the bottom, it has the trademark 3, the stylized B. So that one is not a MEL, but it's a Hummel. And one of the best ways to find out is to look on the back and see if it says Hummel, which it does. MEL Hummel. Now they do have, here's a pair of MELs, and when we click on it, notice the price on this one. For the pair, they want $259.99 and $8 shipping. Always watch and see how much shipping is, especially if it comes from Germany or Europe. It will be quite a bit higher, and it takes a bit longer sometimes going through customs. Notice on these, it's hard to tell the difference, except the pants do come up higher. And if we look at the bottom, you can see it says Germany. That's a good indicator that it's an earlier version. And very simple bottom. You can almost see the word MEL. And here's the boy with a horse. So if we look at the back side, you can see the word MEL and clearly MEL. Another difference, I'll put these back up here, the base. If you notice the base on the one on the right, the 117, it says MEL Hummel, it's thicker, it's taller, whereas the MEL is thinner. There are actually some that are very thin. Here's one that's very thin. And you can see the difference between the bases. So two things that you can look for are the hairstyle, where the pants come up. Of course, in version trademark 3 and 4, the pants do come up high, and you have to make sure that you check that just to make sure it's a MEL and not a Hummel. And the base needs to be very thin. Most the MELs. There are some MELs that have that cookie style. Go back to rare Hummels and the MELs. This is a page that shows all three, gives information basically on the MELs, and it shows more information. Some have the MEL with the crown trademark and the transitional full B. It indicates that it was made during the crown era, but held over probably due to the war until after the war, and then the full B, they painted it and stamped it with a full B. That's called the transitional piece. Here's again is the cookie. It says MEL 2, barely see it up here, with a full B and another transitional piece. There's the painter mark right there. And on this one, it's very faint. You can almost see it. It says MEL 2, and there's the full B and the painter's mark. I hope you enjoyed this initial setup that I have for the MEL Hummel channel. I'll be introducing many more and having box openings when I receive some from auctions or wherever. And hope this is educational to you. Visit melhummel.org, and there's a lot of information. There's over 2,100 photographs right now that promise to be more. And enjoy putting this all together to help educate people on what to look for with the Hummels, especially the rare ones, and have fun with your collection.